everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Charles Jamerlan, and today I'm going to give you an easy 7-step guide on how to get to Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu, one of the top destinations of many of you travelers and wanderlusts out there. I'm pretty sure it's at least in the top 5 on a lot of people's bucket lists. Now, if you haven't heard of Machu Picchu, do me a favor, hit pause, open up Google, and Google it. Then come back after reading about it. But for the rest of you out there, this guide's just for you. Now, when I planned my trip to Peru and eventually to Machu Picchu, I don't want to book a package tour. I wanted to save the Inca Trail for a return trip. Now, although it's not that difficult to get to Machu Picchu, it is a bit overwhelming as it does require some advanced planning to make sure that this trip was going to go smooth sailing. So I spent a ton of hours, drank tons and tons of coffee as I researched into the wee hours of the night, and it is my absolute pleasure to share with you this easy 7-step guide on how to get to Machu Picchu. Now, this guide is pretty straightforward, but I'm going to give you my personal recommendation and actually tell you what I did when I planned my trip into Peru and into Machu Picchu. Now, you can most certainly ignore my recommendations, make a cup of coffee, put a sandwich in the microwave, take a nap, whatever it is that you want to do. But I'm going to assure you, you're going to be missing out on some awesomely fun stuff. Step 1, book all the necessary tickets, including train rides and entrance tickets, before you even book a flight to Peru. You're going to want to make sure to book your train tickets that'll take you to Aguas Calientes, which is basically the base town of Machu Picchu. And you're also going to want to make sure to book your tickets to get into Machu Picchu. There are a very limited amount of spots per day. I believe it's about 2,500 spaces per day. You can get your tickets while you're in Peru, in the towns of Lima and Cusco and in Aguas Calientes, but you can't actually get them at Machu Picchu itself. It would really suck to take all this time to go to Machu Picchu only to be denied at the entrance because you didn't buy your entrance tickets. Yeah, that sucks. Now, with regards to the train tickets, there are mainly 2 railroad companies that you can book with one being Peru Rail and the other being Inca Rail. I personally booked with Peru Rail and had a great experience with them. They offer various classes in terms of service, from an economy class up to a first class. Now, I opted for the lowest class, but don't let that fool you. You're treated to some pretty awesome, comfortable seats, as well as these humongous panoramic windows from which you can look out and experience and view the beautiful Peruvian jungle landscapes. Now, in terms of the tickets to get into Machu Picchu, there are plenty of websites to purchase these tickets ahead of time. However, I purchased mine from a website called Ticket Machu Picchu, which I'll link in the description box below. The transaction was fairly smooth, and then within a couple of days, I had my ticket delivered to me in a PDF via email. Now, my personal recommendation would also to book a group ticket that includes a separate hike to one of the 2 mountains within Machu Picchu, Machu Picchu Montana and Huayna Picchu. For an additional $10, 10 American dollars, entrance to one of these 2 mountains is also limited, so you're going to want to make sure to reserve that ahead of time. And in fact, Huayna Picchu is a lot more limited than the Machu Picchu Montana. I mean, if you're already there, why not just spend a little bit more money and burn a few more calories and hike your way up to see some more amazing landscapes. Step number 2, book an actual flight to Peru, being that Machu Picchu is in Peru. It only makes perfect sense. I recommend you either do it in May or in September, which is basically the beginning and the tail end of the tourist season. Prices are much cheaper, again, because you're getting there during an off season. And number 2, why I think it's actually best to go in May or in September when it comes to weather. It's actually the driest time of the year. So you're treated to cooler weather in a much lower humidity. Now my personal recommendation, since there are no direct flights that really go into Cusco, you're gonna more than likely stop at Lima. Why not take 2 days, 3 days to just explore Lima for what it has to offer? From the nightlife, to the food, to the people, to the culture. And let me tell you, the food in Lima is absolutely delicious. And if you're on a budget, it's also extremely cheap. Step 3, get to Cusco. As I mentioned, you're gonna descend into Cusco before you actually start your journey to Machu Picchu. More than likely, you're gonna take a local airlines from Lima to Cusco. It might be LATAM Airlines or Peruvian Air. I flew LATAM and it was an incredibly pleasant hour-and-a-half journey that you get some of the most spectacular views of the Andes Mountains as you fly over them. So make sure you get a window seat because you're gonna be in for a treat. Now, upon arriving to Cusco, you're gonna probably feel the effects of altitude sickness as you are about 3,400 meters or 11,000 feet above sea level. Your hotel or whoever you're staying with is probably gonna have some cocoa tea, which will help with the altitude sickness. So make sure to try some of that because you know, you don't wanna pass out from the elevation like I did. Just kidding. Now my recommended option would be to take some time and explore Cusco. But I want to take a day or two and explore what Cusco has to offer as well. And take some time to acclimate to the high elevation. You know, there are other markets to explore like the Mercado de San Pedro, where you can purchase some really authentic handcraft goods, drink some of the most incredible and fresh natural juices like papaya and aloe vera for a bad stomach, and also sample some of the local food like cuy, deep fried or baked guinea pig. Now it tastes really good, just trust me on that one. Also, there are other historical and cultural things worth seeing, such as Sacsayhuaman, which is another Incan archaeological site where you could see a lot of the Incan engineering and architecture that is peppered all through Peru. Also, you can check out Cristo Blanco, which is basically a smaller version of the Christ the Redeemer statue that is famously known in Rio, Brazil. Now, some folks like to venture in Cusco after coming back from Machu Picchu, as it is a higher elevation than that of Machu Picchu, so they take their time to acclimate there. But I recommend you just acclimate yourself to the elevation here in Cusco. Step number 4, get to Aguas Calientes. So to get there, you're gonna need those tickets that I told you in step 1 to purchase, as there are no other options of getting there other than by train or by hiking if you're doing the Inca Trail, but that's not what this guide is for. So if you're leaving from Cusco, you're actually gonna go to a train station in a town called Poroy, which is about 15 minutes from the town center in Cusco. And it's a 3-hour journey from Poroy to Aguas Calientes. Now, upon arriving to Aguas Calientes, you can most certainly drop your bags, get a quick bite to eat, and then go straight into Machu Picchu. Take a night to just explore town and get some rest before you get into Machu Picchu. So I stayed at a hostel called New Day Inn, which only cost me $19 per night. So I was able to get a good night's sleep and a lot of rest before my journey and my long day into Machu Picchu. My recommendation for this step, and which I highly
recommend you do,
is to book a tour that will take you from Cusco to a town called Ollantaytambo, which stops in the Sacred Valley. When I got to Ollantaytambo, it's another Incan archaeological site that has these amazing ruins that I'm gonna say probably rival that of Machu Picchu. And what was really neat was when I went, I was there during the festival of the Choquequilla, where a lot of the locals dress up in some really traditional, cultural, religious garb and take some time and dance and celebrate and party. It was neat for me to just kind of sit there and people watch and enjoy and see how the locals celebrate their culture. So definitely take a trip to Ollantaytambo. So I took the train from Ollantaytambo to Aguascalientes, which only took about an hour and a half. Step number 5, arrive at Machu Picchu. Now there are 2 ways to get to Machu Picchu when you're in Aguascalientes. One being, you can hike up there. I think it takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And the second option, which is the one I went with, is to purchase a round trip bus ride from the town up to Machu Picchu. Just a note for you guys out there, you're only allowed to leave and enter Machu Picchu 3 times in one day. And also, you're gonna need your passport to get in there, even though you've already purchased a ticket, so don't forget your passport. On the way out, they have a cool little booth right outside of the entrance gates where you can stamp your passport with an official Machu Picchu stamp. So that's really cool. That's why you're gonna wanna bring your passport to get that stamp, because you can't get that stamp anywhere else except for Machu Picchu. Now my actual recommendation is to get up at 3:30 a.m. so you can get in line by 4 a.m. on the first bus that leaves to Machu Picchu at 6 a.m. Now there are a lot of reasons why you want to get on this first bus into Machu Picchu. It's best to go to Machu Picchu earlier in the day, as you're going to be avoiding the majority of tourists during the hours of 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And number 2 is the fact that getting there that early, you will get the opportunity and the chance to see the sunrise on Machu Picchu. So it's definitely worth getting up that early in the morning, especially if you're on vacation. Step number 6, sit there and enjoy and feast your eyes on this once in a lifetime experience. Now you can certainly do wander and enjoy Machu Picchu on your own with a guidebook, but I recommend you hire the services of a local tour guide to really get the most from a historical and a cultural perspective. You can book a tour guide or a tour prior to getting there, but upon arriving to Machu Picchu, you're gonna find a few official tour guides that are gonna solicit for your services, and their costs range somewhere from 60 to 120 soles, which is about 20 to 40 US dollars. Now, if you're a solo traveler or there's maybe just 2 of you in your group, you can most certainly find other travelers in the same situation and group together, as these tour guides will offer you their services at a lower cost if there's a bigger group, which makes a lot of sense. So that's what I did. So not only do you get to experience and learn more about Machu Picchu and Incan culture and history, but also get to meet new friends while doing it. So how awesome is that? Now once you're in Machu Picchu, just take as much time as you want and soak up all the beautiful landscapes, from the incredible mountain ranges to the mysterious clouds that just drape and engulf and take their sweet time drifting over the citadel and over Machu Picchu. No matter if it's raining or it's sunny, it's just a beautiful and incredible place to experience and absorb beauty that surrounds you. Machu Picchu, rain or shine, it's a magical place that's gonna leave you absolutely breathless. So don't rush, just soak in everything. And in my case, literally. Now my recommended option goes back to step 1, where I recommended you purchase an entrance ticket to one of the 2 mountains. Now I hiked up Machu Picchu, Montana, which took me 2 hours to hike an additional 700 meters up to the summit. Now it was grueling, it was raining all morning, I was sweaty, I was humid, it was hot, but by the time I got up there, you are just treated to some of the most incredible, jaw-dropping views. Now, getting up there, it was extremely cloudy. I mean, your head's literally in the clouds being that high. Now, it was rainy the day that I went up there, so when I had got up to the top of the summit, there was a lot of fog and a lot of haze and a lot of clouds that just covered my view of the citadel. But like I said, take the time to soak things in and don't rush it. As I waited 2 hours before finally the sun came out and the clouds parted, and I just saw this mind-blowing view of the citadel. Now, step number 7, just smile on a sad trip back home. If you follow these steps in the exact same order but in reverse, you're gonna find yourself safe and sound to where you started, but maybe just a bit more melancholic, maybe a bit more sad. But the good thing though, is the fact that awesome memories and experiences don't add extra weight and baggage. Now, my recommendation here is to book an additional couple nights at a wonderful homestay called Yellow River in a town called Mayo. I'm going to link their website in the description box below. But soon after leaving Machu Picchu, I didn't exactly go home. I booked about 2 nights at this homestay. You're going to be treated to some of the most incredible home-cooked Peruvian meals, including banana pancakes for breakfast and some hot chocolate that was produced from the chocolate plants or the cocoa plants right out there in their farm. And also you'll be treated to the wonderful company of just the most genuine and warm family that you will ever meet in your life. The stay that I had at Yellow River was absolutely amazing, and in fact probably one of the top highlights on my trip in Peru. So definitely check them out if you're there. So thanks again everybody for watching this video. If you want to see more videos like this with tips, tricks, and thoughts and value to you travelers and wanderlusts out there, definitely let me know. Give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions about this guide or about this trip, definitely let me know. And if you have any time today, tomorrow, or whenever, please take some time to watch my vlogs that I did out in Peru, as well as some of the travel videos that I did on my journeys all over the world. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.